He has, as Andrew McCarthy said yesterday.
We haven't.
Oh, okay. There's no defense. Yeah, let's hear it. He's talking to Hugh Hewitt. And this is what he says and why he says it.
In terms of the president's defense that he declassified the documents, I'm not saying it has merit, but how does he get that into the record without appearing as a witness?
There would have to be. This is why I don't think he has a defense, Hugh. First of all, I think if you do that under the Presidential Records Act, there should be a document supporting it. Otherwise, he's got to have a witness that shows that he did it. I don't think he has that. And I also think it's irrelevant because it's not a defense to these charges.
But assuming he thinks it's a relevant argument and they want to make the argument to the jury, how do they even get the assertion that he declassified him in his mind into the record without him going on the stand? Go ahead. We can talk through the music.
Yeah, I don't see how he could do that. He's got to, if it's the operation of his mind, he's got to testify to it.
Okay, first of all, we thank TJ for putting the honky saxophone underneath that bed. I think that was actually Hugh Hewitt's show. But he said time and again, no defense. This is Andrew McCarthy, a conservative, a great, fierce, conservative legal mind who has defended Donald Trump a great deal. He didn't in the election rigging, but in a lot of the impeachment stuff, he was there. Same with Hugh Hewitt. And just like so many other Republicans that have supported Donald Trump in the past, they're saying he's got no defense.
That's what was so damning about the indictment. There's really two parts. One is the sheer scale of this. It's one thing to have the document. This wasn't the exception. This was the rule. That's one thing. Second of all, that's where the obstruction charge is so important. If he had simply coughed them up, we'd be in a total. We wouldn't be having.
We wouldn't have this conversation.
He passed on that.
And that's
his attorneys offered.
I think politically, that's the most important point because voters really aren't going to differentiate why this is so different from what other officials have done, even though they should, because it is of a much greater scale. It's just the fact that he was offered an out as a privileged, powerful person, offered an out that I wouldn't have gotten, that you wouldn't have gotten, that you wouldn't have gotten, and he could have just given them back.
Nobody.
And he was an idiot, and he didn't do it.
Nobody would have gotten it. A war hero, General Petraeus, didn't get that option. A former CIA director, Deutsch, didn't get that. Former National Security Advisor, Sandy Berger, didn't get that. They got charged. And you know, Willie, think about it. The two things that Donald Trump really is in the most trouble for right now with the feds, one, the documents. He could have just returned them. When they asked for him, he could have returned them. He refused to. It was him sitting there with the documents that got him in trouble. And then January the 6th, could have very easily, when police started getting the hell beaten out of them, he could have gotten online and said, leave the Capitol. Don't do this. There's a better way. He sat there and stared at cops getting brutalized and beaten and the Capitol getting vandalized with rioters, and he did absolutely nothing for a couple of hours.
In fact, watched it allegedly gleefully in the dining room just off the Oval Office as his people were trying to fight for him, he believed. And the reason that he didn't give these documents back, is because, as the indictment makes clear, he genuinely believed they were his. These are mine, he says again and again. These are mine.
Well, do you remember, Willie, how we had talked about my army, my generals, my Secretary of State, my this, my Justice Department?
But he also knew there was a process.
He knew there was a process. They told him there was a process, but you're right, Willie. He didn't realize, and I've said this to people walking into the White House, you don't own this. You rent it for 4 years and 8 if you're lucky.
The American people.
You're in there. He never got that.